Spectrum TV, broadening your horizon.
Hello and welcome to the program Inside Motherhood here on Spectrum Television, a program that talks about everything you need to know about motherhood. Yes, motherhood. And of course, it's also a program that gives room for the fathers, the husbands, the brothers to come in and also learn things about motherhood so that they can coexist together. Okay, so today on Inside Motherhood, we'll be talking about the strength of a woman and, of course, how to break stereotypes among women. Well, we just had International Women's Day and so many women were celebrated all around the world. Yeah, if you didn't celebrate any woman, be it your mother, be it your auntie, be it your caretaker, anybody, then you did wrong. And I'm still giving you a chance to go and celebrate that woman today. A woman, yeah, I would say, is a very, very vital being in the society. You must agree with me. So we're going to talk about that today. Well, welcome once again to the program. My name is Rachel David White. Okay, let's go straight into the business of the day. I have with me in the house a beautiful woman. She's very beautiful. A mother in the house, a woman that will be talking to us about the strength of a woman and how to break those barriers, those hindrances. Of course, yeah, I would agree. Yeah, I know I'm going to ask her later if she had ever come across any challenge in her life before, you know, growing to this age. I'm sure she must have, and she has something to share with us. Well, let's get over to her, talking about Comfort Alpan. She is the clinical director for Maria Stopes. Welcome, Comfort.
Thank you very much, Rachel. Good afternoon, viewers. Yes, today we are going to talk about woman in consonance with the celebration of International Women's Day. So, yeah, we have a lot of strength, women, in us.
I like it when you say we have a lot of strength in us. I had an argument, not directly involved, some time ago this week, I think on Tuesday, in a public car when I stepped in with my baby, and then a man said, "Oh, mothers should be celebrated," and a woman said, "Yes, a woman is more important than a man," and then they started fighting and arguing. How could you say a woman is more important than a man? What happens? Okay, the lady says a woman gives life, and the man says a man gives a woman the life she gives to the society. Well, I didn't say anything at that point. Then the man in the middle said, come on, they are both important. But today we're not just talking about who is important, because both male and female are very important. We're talking about the strength a woman has. So,
Yeah.
Let's get to that.
So, we women, we have this strength. And I want to say that for a man, the woman is the neck. The world says the man is the head, but without the neck, the head cannot turn. So if you don't take a woman as important as it should be, I think the head will be rotten. In our world today, women are being stereotyped as they should be only home carers. But it is wrong for me. It is wrong for me, I will say. Look at it this way. From the cradle You've just told us that you have a baby. If you have a baby boy, if you have a baby girl, maybe two of them, which one takes care more in the home? It is the woman. It is the girl. And so she grows up with that. That strength in her is there. But I don't know why men, or maybe they say this is the men's world, and they are taking us, they are saying that women are weaker sex. I tell you, I don't agree to that. We are not weak at all. Take from home. It is the woman that will wake up very early, start doing something. You, for example, you are in this place, you are working. Maybe your husband is also working. But if I ask you, does he wake up to do something in the house? You are the one doing everything. The man will be lying down, will be doing, maybe reading. My home, in my house, my husband is always reading on the phone every time. So,
okay,
the woman can be for everybody, for the child, for the baby, for you've just mentioned us in different aspects. The auntie, the mother, the grandmother, the just mention the wife, the sister. It is a woman. We have a lot to play in this our world.
Okay, that explains it all. The strength a woman has to not just carry but accommodate everybody in the society. Now, accommodate your family. I always like to talk about reality. This is not science fiction. It's not something you say, let me imagine. It's something that happens. For example, a woman goes out to work, comes back home, and cooks, goes to the market, prepares the children. But a man would go out, work, and come back home, be ready to be received,
you see?
taken care of,
you see?
and looked after. Well, we must also agree that men have the ability, of course, to also cater for our needs as women and children as well. But today we're centering on women. A woman has the ability not just to give life, but to nurture, to bring life to balance.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get to your explanation this morning, this afternoon rather. Okay, now let's get to this point. Women are more likely than men to shrug off the praise and lower their own abilities. Now, I'm talking about the challenges women face. Let's get to some of the challenges women may likely face in today's society.
Yeah, the women are facing a lot of challenges. Just in our world, if a woman, the potentials are there in us, but there are some areas of activities that people feel a woman should not venture in. And so that woman will seem to withdraw from it. We won't talk about that only. The church aspect. In the church, it is said, they said the Bible is saying that woman should bow down every time. Even it means that the husband should match her.
Should always be submissive.
Should always be submissive. And so the community now takes that up and say a woman should only be seen and not to be heard, which is wrong. This woman has potentials of talking or contributing to the development of the community, to the environment, at least. But because she has already been stereotyped that she should only be seen and not heard. And so she seems to withdraw. That's one aspect. For example, I am in the health sector. Before now, health facilities were located or were agreed on where to be located by the politicians, by the stakeholders who were only men, sitting around on the round table to talk about where can we locate this facility or that facility. And the women are there in the community where this facility should have been taken closer to them. And this facility will be taken to where a bare land which is very far away from these women. Who are those that are accessing health facilities? Mainly the women. But if this was to be taken closer to them, or a woman was to give a contribution of where the facility is to be taken to, so at least you would have seen her voice would have been heard. Please locate it. We have so many women in this aspect, in this area, in this coverage, but she was not heard. She was not even among the people that took up that agreement. And so you see, a lot of it, even on the government side. For example, there are some areas of employment that if you write an application and they say come for an interview, you go for an interview because you are pregnant. They will say, no, this one, we don't think she will be able to do this work. And so at that point, you are being stereotyped. At that point, these are the barriers that seems to affect us. You come to, even we women ourselves, we also cause this. Of course. We also caused it. A woman say, why is she doing that? That is not the work of a woman. A man should do it. Like today I was coming, I'm the one that drove the car. There are a lot of women who will say, it is not a woman's place to drive. It is the man's work. A man should be the driver. I can remember there was a woman I saw sometime riding this keke nape. Hey, if you see what happened to this woman, they were clapping for her. They were shouting. They were,
and you want to. Rare. They're rare. I know of one.
But there are women who would have loved to do that, who would have had the energy, the enthusiasm to do that. But because even the fellow women are also dragging them back. So we have a lot of barriers. Barriers from us, barriers from our husbands, barriers from the community, the society at large. Our organization that we belong to. But thank God, our pursuit, our urge, our pushing is gradually taking. Like I'm here today. Would I have been here in the past? In the past? No. Of course not. It would have been the men's world. So that is why I say a lot. We need to push. You need to support me. I need to support you. And we go forward.
Well, talking about the issue of, a woman having to apply for work when you're pregnant. Well, someone has actually shared something like that before. But for me, I remember when I came to here, Spectrum TV, I was pregnant at my 8 months. But I started working and then I was given a break. I took that break, took maternity leave and came back to work as well. So I must say that there are some organizations today that are really trying to also break that stereotype for women as well.
That is because we women, we are pushing.
Yeah, we're determined.
It was not like that before. We are determined and we are pushing it. Take for example, in the political world, we just finished a presidential election. How many women did you see?
Well, at least we had one woman.
We only had one. And was that
and aside that, we didn't really have support from the women folks in her own angle. We had the women supporting the men more. And then you hear something like, if power is being given to a woman, she's going to do this, she's going to do that, she's going to turn the man to a slave and all of that. Okay, well, let's talk about, self-confidence now. Do you think that gender stereotypes can kill a woman's self-esteem?
Yes, I think so.
To what extent?
To an extent, if especially, well, let me come this way. It is said, train a woman, and you do what? You train the whole world. So if women are being trained, if they are exposed, gender stereotype cannot kill their confidence. But for those in the community, for those that are coming up, if you try to stereotype them, it will look as if, in fact, they will withdraw. They tend to withdraw from what that ability they have, that they would have at least exhibited. So, but I think if we train them, if they are exposed, if we communicate more, if we push more, if their eyes are open more, I'm telling you, gender stereotype will not be something that can push them aside.
Okay, now we're talking about exposure. You've mentioned exposure.
Yeah.
Do you think that that can bring any negative maybe effect on a woman? You know, there are some men that tend to believe that, I mean, in our society today, let me give you an example. We had women who would stay in their houses no matter what it takes, you know. Yeah, the issue of being submissive, take whatever comes. But we have women nowadays who are being exposed, and to some extent, they can't take it much from a man. For example, a man would walk up to them and say, I want you to do this right now. And they will say, no, I don't have to do this right now because I'm tired, or I can't carry this at this point. And the man would push and they would say, no, I have to leave. For example, okay, I'll also give another example. Career-wise, we have some men who would ask their wives to quit their jobs, and they say, no, this is my career, so I can't quit. And they're like, okay, it's either you quit the marriage or you quit the job. So we have women, because of exposure now, you know, just quit the marriage and go ahead with their career, like their dream person. There are some men that think that a woman should not have a dream. Their dream is to have a man. That's all. So whatever the man wants, that's what they do, taking care of the man and the children, and not having a special thing about themselves at all. So that at that point I ask, do you think exposure brings any negative impact on a woman?
Well, exposure brings both negative and positive anywhere, but I'm saying that the men should also be able to look at things objectively. A woman has two hands, a man also has two hands, and then we were made as what in the Bible?
Supporters, helpmates.
Helpmates. But now you see what? We are even carrying the whole thing on our heads.
Of course.
And so the men should also look at it objectively and not think that this woman has the right. She knows her body, she knows how she feels, and she knows what she will want to do. She has a right for herself. And so it is not the man's world any longer. The woman should be guided to support also. And so that's why I say it has both negative and positive.
Okay.
The negative aspect, this woman should not think that, oh, because I am exposed, oh, because I am educated, oh, because I'm this and that, and so I should not be supporting my husband. I should not listen to my husband. If it is something that they need to sit down and discuss, they should sit down and discuss and decide on what. But the man should not think that because I am the man, it should be my own. Sometimes when they do that, the woman, the gentle voice of a woman will now strike them back later on. If I had known, I would have listened to your voice.
Wow. Okay, well, I at that point, I know some men who have actually had to go through that point. I know a man who says, I am who I am because my wife, my ex-wife advised me to take up this business and to drop this one. And then I failed in politics because I pushed when my wife said don't. All right, let me use this point to remind the people that are just joining us that this is the program Inside Motherhood on Spectrum Television, while a program that talks about motherhood and everything you need to know about a woman. Her strength is what we are talking about today, and of course how she can break the stereotypes. Now, this program is highly participatory, so you can join us by calling the number on your TV screen. Send us a text message or a WhatsApp message, okay? In case you have any question for our guest in the house, Comfort Akpan, please do so before she leaves us in the next few minutes. So feel free to call us and join the conversation. We're talking about the strength of a woman and how she can break the stereotypes. I know usually we have much male callers on the show, like the men tend to want to learn for their wives, and I love that spirit. So your calls are highly welcomed. Okay, so yeah, coming back to you, what are the things that you can do to make a positive impact, okay, on gender equality in the society?
Yeah, first of all I would think is to educate. Just as I said, educate a woman, you'd educate the whole world. If we educate the women, the girl child, and she takes that up, and she knows. And we also let the men know, because we are not coming to take over from them. We are trying to see what you can do. If you cannot do this, I can help you do this. If I cannot do this, you can help me do this. And so we come to a level that we can equalize, not because I want to be a man like you. Equity, if we want to talk about it, equity is giving me what I want, depending on my circumstance, and I can fit in like the other person. So I think education, and we also talk to women, both men and women. The government should come in, the individuals should come in, the stakeholders should come into play here. And so that is how I think.
Okay, well, talking about changing gender roles, for example, in some organizations there are positions where they feel a woman shouldn't be given, okay? Yeah, here in this organization, I like to talk about things with example, with fact. We have much of the top positions being you know, manned by a woman.
Yeah.
And then they're doing great. They are doing very great in their various positions. So do you think that to some extent gender roles has anything to play here? For example, like I said, thinking that how can you make a woman the head in a construction company?
I don't think a woman can be anywhere depending on her strength that we are talking about. Look at somebody like Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. Who is she today? The whole World Trade Center. She's carrying it on her head.
And she's doing great.
Yes, and she's doing well. Which ordinary one would have said it should be a man that should be there. Well, we have a lot of them. We have a lot of them. Look at this musician, Shaki, that sang The Strength of a Woman. And you see, we have in education, they are there. So I don't think gender role would have been something that will affect us.
Okay.
So give a woman an opportunity and she will excel. Even in my organizations. My organization, Maristopes, everywhere we have women. When they advertise, they will underline, please, this position is also, we would like a woman to apply for this position because of what? They know abilities, the strength that is there in a woman.
Okay, I think there's something we didn't really touch.
Yeah.
We didn't touch the causes of, you know, stereotypes, you know, having the stereotypes. Could it be that you talked about education as one of the ways we could break that? But do you think that ignorance or maybe lack of basic education, or maybe going to school or being exposed could cause that.
I've already said that the causes of this stereotyping could be lack of education, and so from tender age we should be able to take our child up from there. Don't say I have a boy, let the boy go to so school, and the girl, because she's going to be married away, you go to this other school. And so you have started it from that point. So they should be given equal opportunity. Apart from that, I said the community. I've talked about the community themselves who are trying to stereotype women because of the fact that they are thinking that it is the man's world and the woman should not go to such maybe a handwork, and it is the man's world. It is the man that should drive a car. It is the man that should be an engineer. And you have seen that even in the world of today, we had the first female pilot who did well in such area, aviation area. Will you have thought that a woman will be able to fly a plane?
Of course, it takes determination.
So that's it. Until you give a woman that opportunity before you can discover her strength.
Okay.
We have a lot of strength.
Wow. Okay, this is just a self-reminder that you can be part of the show by calling and sending us a text message or a WhatsApp message. Now, just the last points before we allow you go. Okay, let's touch a little on the International Women's Day. Now, I understand that, some men say every now and then women are being celebrated. It happens every time. Women are always being celebrated. What happens to the man? The men just come once or twice in a year, and that's all. Women are always being celebrated. But let's touch on the importance of International Women's Day celebration.
Yeah, importance of
and how you feel it should be celebrated.
Yeah, it should be celebrated. For me, I would have said we should be celebrated twice in a year. Yes, because we have done a lot. We've done a lot. Starting from home. I will not stop starting from home.
Of course.
Because, yes, from home. A woman carries pregnancy for 9 months, delivers the baby, not just the baby. Even the school runs. Who are those that are going for school runs these days? I remember when my child was in school, I would be the one to run. Take the baby to school. When it is time, I leave my office, go and carry the baby. Sometimes I take the baby to my office. And so, will care for your in-laws, your husband. Very important.
Accommodate everybody.
Very important.
And the men need a particular care. Like they always want to be involved. Like sometimes they feel you are cheating them by taking care of the children the more. So they need their own attention.
So that's it. So we are very important. We should be celebrated, my dear sister. We should be celebrated in fact, I would say twice in a year. But for the men also, I think they have the Father's Day. If a woman was not to be celebrated, this musician that say sweet mother, what would have happened? It's as if he felt the importance. He felt what the mother did for her.
Of course.
And so all the men, we are the ones. They were given birth by a woman. And so they need to celebrate. If they want to tell you not to talk of when the father is not there, the woman takes it upon herself to cater for even the number of children she has.
I think it's possible for a woman to, stay with the children, take care of the children in the absence of a husband than the other way around. Leaving the children for the father, you have to leave a book sometimes on steps on how to take care of the children, steps on how to feed and clothe the children. But for a woman, sometimes a man may not leave something behind, but a woman will always find her way through.
You see, and I said there was one lady I mean, the couple was telling me, and the husband said, if as we are sitting down like this, death will come from there and said, I want to take any of you, I want to take any of you. The husband said, I will say, take me, and leave my wife
so
alone.
I can't take care of the children.
Because of my children.
Okay.
And so you see, so they also know, the men also know that we have a lot. We can do a lot.
A man said something. It was a seminar. He said, a man knows that a woman is more powerful than him, but we don't want to say it because the woman would always use it against us.
You see?
So he says a man has the ability to do his job within his jurisdiction, but a woman has the ability to do both the man's job and that of a woman.
Yeah.
Okay, well, at this point, one last question before you go. What do you have to say to the society at large?
Yeah, please. I want to tell the society that women are very important. We need to be celebrated. We have the strength. Give us that opportunity. We can excel. Support us well. Support if you are a father, if you are an uncle, you have a little girl, please bring her up with an expectation that she has that energy, she has that ability to be able to excel. So I need everybody to work in one aspect to support the women.
All right, thank you so much, Comfort Akpan.
Thank you.
I think I forgot to ask you some of the challenges you had, but it's okay. At least you put them all and you put it to us. Thank you so much for being a part of the program Inside Motherhood. Well, we trust we're going to have you another time to talk to us about something else. So for today,
no problem.
Let's just say thank you so much.
I will give my time.
All right, thank you. Really
so
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, so we'll go on a short break. I'm leaving you with the song Woman by Simi. When we come back, the show continues. Stay tuned.
Nigerian police, which is the only one allowed by cross them. Our governors have to share police power with the president as stipulated by the constitution. We do not have a federal government police. We have the Nigerian police force, which shall be administered, organized and supervised by the Nigerian police force.
My Lord, I want to say something. Here. Perhaps it might also enlarge the scope of people who should be invited here for examination. My Lord, if we cannot find those who literally murdered Abiola, who are those people who could be said to be the beneficiaries of the death of Abiola?
Rogers has linked you with some of the killings he did.
He never did.
He linked you with the attempted murder of people.
He did not.
My Lord, the matters counsel is releasing the evidence in our.
Is this an adversary proceeding?
Not, my Lord, but we can't be talking about cases which are in court.
Is this an adversary proceeding?
It's not, my Lord. These cases are in court, my Lord. I'm just reminding your Lordship.
My Lord, sorry, my Lord, I think I'll be in cross-examination.
Legally Speaking, a program that deals with legal issues and questions we face as citizens of this amazing country, Nigeria. Legally Speaking. Join us every
Friday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m.
for Legally Speaking.
One truth, not often told, is about the transformation that Africa has undergone in recent decades. Africa is shaping its own destiny and should be referred to as the African opportunity. On Spotlight Africa, we paint the African picture, the African way, laced with truth, detail, and color of the African continent. Join Ulai Anyekan every Tuesday and Thursdays at 4:30 p.m. Spotlight Africa. Tell you the African
All right, welcome back to the program Inside Motherhood. I trust you learned something today from our guest Comfort Akpan, Clinical Directors, Mary Stubbs. Well, today we're talking about the strength of a woman and how to break barriers, stereotypes. Well, I would say today's society has really been favorable to the female folks, but not totally, not to a point, not to a bigger percentage, yeah, because we still have some women fighting so hard to become who they are. Some of them actually swallow the pains and put a smile on that face just to carry on. You know, a woman has the capacity to bring out life and nurture life. For example, you have a woman who has so much pains in her heart, so much tears, and then a child walks up to her and then she's able to put up a smile and attend to that child, you know, and keep the depression aside and attend to whatever need the child has at that point, you know, just to hide it from the child seeing it. A woman has that ability. To the men watching us, I'd like to say that we appreciate the male folks for who they are and for what they represent in the life of the women and the children also. Yeah, the men are doing great in backing up the women. Of course, the men are the ones that provide for the family, you know, cheers up the women. And I will also appreciate the fact that recognize the fact that a woman may be looking like she's happy, she's complete when without a man, but there is something inside her that is telling her, come on, you need a man in your life. So a woman needs a man in her life, and we appreciate all the men and whatever they do for us, and we're saying that we just need that softness, you know, that soft spirit that accommodates us, that pampers us, that takes care of us. Of course, the men also need pampering, but there's this thing about the women. The women, no matter how they pull out there to be strong, of course they can carry, they put out so much strength, but there is something soft in them that is looking for help. Sometimes they may not say, but they need it. So I'll leave you with something today. That woman around you, your sister, your friend, your wife, your daughter, needs extra care, extra attention. Yeah, needs a little more than what you're giving her. sometimes she may not be able to walk up to you to say everything or to complain everything. If you're this kind of man that, you know, scares her away or takes offense, if she's not the type that can nag, she may just, you know, pretend to be happy just to make you happy when she's not. So once in a while, try to give listening ear. Try to make yourself available. Bring yourself down, so that just like you would bring yourself down to a child, so that the child will be able to walk up to you and tell you where you've gone wrong. Okay, so you can have a good relationship. Try doing that sometimes with that woman around you, and of course, trust me, things would change. Try treating her like you would love someone to treat you as well. I know sometimes there's this pride in a man that makes a man feel, come on, I can do this and get away with it, I'm the man. But sometimes try to think from the human being angle. Would you love someone doing this to you? Would you love to be in this person's shoe? Try to think, if I would be tired doing this, why couldn't she be tired doing this? Try to give them a break sometimes. Thank you so much for being a part of this program. Thank you for doing what I'm asking you to do right now. I'm thanking you in anticipation, because I trust the men. Of course, the men are the head of the families, different families, and they're doing wonderfully well. And I implore all the women around the world to please respect the men, and the men also love and respect the women as well. Well, I wish we could continue this program, because I have a lot of things to say when it has to do with the women, and I love bringing the men in because they have to coexist together for peace to reign. But for today, this is where we close the curtains on the program Inside Motherhood. Well, next week Saturday is the governorship election in the whole of Nigeria, so catch you after next week. Of course, we have something important piled up, or things important piled up to discuss on this program, so you have a lot to learn. Just keep a date with us every Saturday apart from this coming Saturday. Don't forget to follow us on Spectrum, our social media, and of course on our YouTube at spectrumtv.ng. Meanwhile, my name is Rachel David White. Have a good evening.